Welcome to Unplanned Podnancy, the only podcast on the internet where the points are made up and I just shit myself. This is episode 9 of Unplanned Podnancy. It's the second part of our hypothetical questions episode. If you haven't listened to episode 8 yet, I recommend going back and listening to that first because it sort of explains what we're doing here. As usual, go to unplannedpodnancy.com for our merch store and links to all of our social media pages. Without further ado, let's get into it, and I hope you enjoy the episode. If you were a celebrity for one day, what would your name be? I'm not sure if it's asking, like, what celebrity would you like to be, or if you were just, like, if you had to have a stage name, what would your stage name be? Let's do both.
Without overthinking it, Thick John Michelson.
Thick John Michelson. So you're a porn star.
Not what I said.
Who's named Thick John Michelson and isn't a porn star?
Well, clearly my name is John Michelson. The thick part, maybe it comes from, like, you know, I'm in like a Robin Hood type deal where, you know, like Little John and Robin Hood was actually like a big dude. You know, it could be irony. Maybe Thick John Michelson has like paper thin skin and gets easily hurt when people touch him.
You're a porn star.
Yeah, you're right. I'm probably a porn star with a really meaty dick.
Yeah.
That's probably where that ends up. And then the other part is, if I was like an actual existing famous person, who would I pick?
Yes.
Man, maybe Elon Musk, so I could beat myself to death. No. Amber Heard, so I can apologize for all the shit I did. No. You know who's really cool?
Who?
The Rock and Jason Momoa. I'd pick one of those dudes. They seem like they have a real good time in life in general. Like, Jason Momoa seems like he spends like a lot of time like in Hawaii just surfing and relaxing and probably drinking. So that would probably be pretty dope. And honestly, The Rock seems like he probably spends a lot of time working out, surfing, and drinking. So
does Jason Momoa have a line of Momoa Mimosas? Because if he doesn't, that's a marketing opportunity that's been missed.
All right, scrap this episode. This is a shout out to Jason Momoa. Jason, do you have Momoa Mimosas? Do you need business partners for Momoa Mimosas?
Hit us up. Unplannedpodnancy.com.
I don't think he does. The Rock has his line of alcohol, though. Is it?
He has tequila.
It's tequila? Ryan Reynolds also has an alcohol line. What is his?
I want to say it's something clear, like gin or something like that.
Oh. So, yeah, being Jason Momoa or The Rock for a day would be pretty cool. Not because they're doing anything like super awesome, but probably because they just live chill as fuck lives.
I mean, the Rock just seems happy with his life.
Yeah, they both seem happy. They both seem like really genuinely happy guys.
The Rock just gets up and just works out forever. When he goes around to film different things, like movies and stuff, they bring like semi-trailers full of personal gym stuff, and they set up like a gym in a tent and shit for him, which seems super dope. I like working out. I don't have the time to work out as much as he does, but that's like his job, basically. That sounds dope, honestly.
His job is to be a big muscle man who's happy and sells alcohol. I don't know. Jason Momoa has really nice hair, but probably The Rock. What about you?
Okay.
What is your stage name?
My stage name, if I were to pick a stage name, would probably be Bobby Five Hands.
Bobby Five Hands. Okay.
And I don't know why. It just sounds cool, and it's kind of like the first thing that popped into my head. I don't know what Bobby Five Hands does, but
and I feel like you're a musician.
Yeah, Bobby Five Hands sounds like a guitarist that's so good that he must have 5 hands. And then if I were going to be a celebrity, it would be difficult not to pick like Emma Watson or something, because I bet being like a hot actress would be super cool. But I would definitely pick a musician and probably like a singer in a band. So, Oliver Sykes would be cool. I think that's one we go with. I think I'd be Ollie Sykes.
This isn't something that we got into with my choice, but what if you picked Oliver Sykes and the day you took over, he had a cold?
Yeah, it's like a monkey's paw thing where it's like you get to be the celebrity, but they're having a really shit day. He took over. Oh, I mean, you would still get to be able to hang out with other musicians and just be in a scene that you wouldn't normally get to see the inside of. So it would still be pretty cool. It wouldn't be as cool as it could be, but it'd still be pretty cool.
Yeah. Spending a day in pretty much anyone's life is probably going to be pretty cool because you're going to get to experience new things. No one's life is the same as anyone else's life.
Yeah, you just get a day, 24 hours of a new perspective on things.
I want that. I want to spend the day in someone else's shoes.
That'd be fun. Even if it was like a homeless person or something, it would be interesting. For 24 hours, it would be interesting just to... Obviously, it's not something that you would want to do for a long time.
No, I don't want to sit and struggle for days, but experiencing the struggle and seeing what things are like through their eyes would be very informative.
It would be. I'm going to send you this list, and you can pick up where I left off, because I've been getting the luxury of listening to your answers and thinking about my own. So we'll flip it, and you can do the next question. And I actually haven't looked at the rest of the questions, so I don't know what the next one is.
All right, Matt. The first question I have for you is, what would your ideal last meal be? What's on the menu for your last meal?
I'm going for quantity over quality, honestly. Honestly, I think if it was my last day and they were just like, what do you want your last meal to be? I'd probably just be like, take me to a Chinese buffet or something like that. Like a decent Chinese buffet that has sushi would be, probably that. It would probably be that. Nothing fancy.
Okay. So just a really nice China buffet.
Yes.
Okay.
The sushi is imperative, that they have like that little shitty sushi thing on the side.
Yeah, they'll find you one with some good sushi.
All right. Yeah, that'd be it. A high quality, not like gourmet, but just like a real good Chinese buffet where all the food is fresh.
Nice. Okay. My last meal, I'm definitely having pizza, because if this is the last thing I'm eating, I'm definitely having some really nice, high quality pizza. Where that pizza from, I don't know currently. I haven't found the perfect pizza. I haven't found my favorite pizza. I have never eaten a pizza above like a 7 rating. I need to go to New York and like Chicago and like Italy and like try some like actually like legitimately good pizza, but like really good pizza would be on that list. I'm definitely having like some dope ass mac and cheese that's been like baked with like breadcrumbs on top, and it has like that gooey browned cheese on the edges, because that shit's what I'm talking about. Pairing that up with some really nice mashed potatoes with a white gravy. What else are we having? Some colored greens.
Colored greens?
Colored greens.
Collard greens?
Colored. It's a southern food.
Aren't they? No, I know what collard greens are.
It's colored greens because it's a southern food.
What does it being southern have anything to do?
It's meant to be pronounced incorrectly. You lived in Tennessee. You lived in Tennessee. You're not telling me you never heard anyone say colored greens?
They didn't say colored or collared. They just called them greens.
Oh. Wow.
If somebody just said you want greens, that's what they meant.
You were getting collard greens. Interesting. That's actually fascinating to me, and something that I wouldn't have guessed. Well, you know what? If we hadn't said it in these episodes, my family came from Kentucky. They say things incorrectly quite often. Colored was the way that it was said. I understand that it's spelt collard, but I will say collard greens for people's ease of listening. Collard greens, love collard greens that have been made with like bacon in them or like ham hock. That's good shit. You know what?
The ham is imperative.
Yeah, that also leads me to like cabbage made with like ham in it. That's kind of dope. But having collard greens and cabbage in the same meal might be a little farty. But you know what? It's my last meal, so I'll go to the grave shitting myself. Who cares? Boy, and now I got to hit up like blackened Brussels sprouts, because blackened Brussels sprouts are also amazing. Oh, a really nice French scramble. Love eggs. French scramble would be in my last meal. I think that's it. I think those are the 8 items that I would want in my last meal.
You got real detailed. You had a plan, or you made a plan.
I made a plan. Those are the foods that bring me the most comfort and that I enjoy the most. I didn't mention nachos, but that's okay.
I was just like, throw me up in Red Dragon Buffet. And
hey man, if I'm dying, I want to remember all the things I love the most in food. All right, Matt, if dinosaurs could be cloned back into existence, what kind of dinosaur would it be?
What? So, if we're Jurassic Parking, but only one dinosaur is allowed to come back, which one would we choose?
It's an odd phrase question.
As a human race, I guess, what would we choose?
Yeah, if dinosaurs could be cloned back into existence, what kind of dinosaur would it be? Yeah, I guess this is phrasing it as though you can bring back one dinosaur.
Like, if I'm going at it from the perspective of if I thought that scientists were to choose one dinosaur to bring back into existence, and this is the only one that they could do, they would obviously pick the T-Rex.
Yeah,
they would obviously pick the T-Rex. If I could choose one dinosaur to bring back into existence, just so... Then the question becomes, is this a dinosaur I'm just letting loose on the earth, or is this a dinosaur that's going to be in some sort of captivity?
Well, the thing is it's written if dinosaurs could be cloned back into existence, what kind would it be? That means you're bringing back one type, but multiple of it.
Does that mean they're just going to be everywhere?
Yeah, that's what it's reading like to me.
Then bringing back the T-Rex is a terrible idea.
I think bringing back any dinosaur is probably a bad idea.
Yeah, maybe there's some sort of small dinosaur that would just... They're going to terrorize everything, man. Because even if you bring back those long-necked thingies that I can't think of the word, but you know which one I'm talking about. All they did was just walk around and just eat trees.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you brought those back, they'd still be accidentally stepping on shit.
Yeah.
And just like crushing people's houses by accident, even though they don't mean to and stuff. And if you brought back like pterodactyls, then you just have these killers swooping out of the skies and scooping up people's babies and shit. Like, don't. Yeah. That's my answer. Don't.
Yeah, this is a terrible idea. This is just a bad idea. No, not doing it. Not picking one. Sorry, scientist, you don't get to bring anything back. If you were the king or queen of the world and could make any rule, what would it be?
Of the world. And I can make any rule.
You can make any rule. And everybody wants to rule the world. Everybody wants to rule the world.
If I could make one rule that everyone had to follow, it would probably be you can't charge for healthcare.
Whoa! You went with, like, helping people.
Yeah. Because I don't know. I can't think of any other rule that wouldn't inconvenience someone else or that would only benefit one party. And I'm not just going to pick a rule that just benefits me, like you have to give Matt money, because I mean, that would make sense. That would be cool. But yeah, I think you can't charge for healthcare.
You would have been like every other king and queen throughout history if you had chosen to give me money.
Everyone has to give me a tithing. A tithing? Is that what they call it?
Yeah. Yeah, 1/10 of your income, the tithe. I would probably pick something way dumber. I'm going to be real. And for those of you who have not read my bio over on unplannedpodnancy.com, here's a little piece of information. I'm only in this time period to find out why people don't make butter out of breast milk. So the rule that I'm enforcing is that all extra breast milk must be turned into butter. Yup.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
It doesn't.
It's better, honestly.
It doesn't hurt anyone.
That's better than free healthcare.
Breast
How could
butter.
I have been so foolish?
How could you have ever been so blind? I don't know what we're going to do with it, though. What are we going to do with all this breast butter?
So much butter. And people are going to need the free healthcare. Everybody's going to have to eat a fuck ton of butter.
Oops. Sorry, world. And gave you all that breast butter. All right. Next. What is your idea of perfect happiness and of perfect misery?
I don't think the human brain is capable of perfect happiness on its own without some sort of chemical assistance. Like I don't think any sort of life fulfillment or any sort of success or anything like that can make a human being perfectly happy. I don't think
for a moment.
The way I interpret this is like sustained over some sort of period.
Okay.
I just, even then, no. I don't think the human brain is capable of being perfectly happy in any situation, no matter how perfect the circumstances are. Because there's just always going to be, just by the nature of the human psyche, some sort of little scratch at the back of your mind that's like, yeah, but what about this? Don't think it's possible. So I think perfect happiness is probably some sort of drug, like heroin or something.
Okay.
I've heard heroin's pretty dope. So perfect happiness may just be being on heroin.
Oh.
I would say that's more likely than any sort of perfect situation.
Just get it in my veins.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I mean, you might be right. Being perfectly happy may require medical assistance.
Yeah. Probably some sort of drug, and maybe in combination with some sort of like virtual reality. Like, give me some heroin and strap me into the metaverse. That's probably the closest thing to pure happiness any human being's ever going to feel.
Okay.
That was dark. Pure misery. I think pure misery is just being subjected to the same exact stimuli over and over and over and over again. And it doesn't even have to be that bad. It can just be a song or something over and over and over and over again. Like they use that to torture people in Guantanamo. But I think like the perfect misery or the perfect hell is just being stuck, removing basically all stimuli from your environment and just introducing some sort of repetitive pain, like getting punched in the head. So just like being strapped to a chair in a dark room with no sound and just being punched in the head repeatedly over and over again.
Damn.
Probably something like that.
Yeah, that would probably suck pretty bad.
Like I think in Dante's Inferno, like the ninth circle of hell is people who are frozen in a lake up to their necks and their heads just sticking out of the lake and they can't do anything. They can't move. And that's just it for eternity. That's probably something like that. It's just pure misery.
Wow, that's dark. Yeah, I thought you were going to say something along the lines of like living the same day over and over, and I was like, what?
No, because you've seen Groundhog Day.
Yeah,
You can find some enjoyment in that.
yeah. Whew. I don't know that I agree with you on the perfect happiness, though.
Okay.
And the way I interpret this isn't sustained perfect happiness. This is momentary. And I think if you were like, for an instant, how could you be perfectly happy? It's going to be like eating like the perfect pepperoni and cheese pizza while ejaculating and getting like a foot massage. And having like someone tickle my ear. Like that would be like, for a moment I'd be like, nerd! You know, just like just like just like absolute just like serotonin and dopamine, just like nerd, for a moment. Then shit's gonna get annoying. It's like, hey, get off me. But for an instant,
For that might split second.
Perfect happiness. For a split second. Perfect misery, probably really similar to yours. I have an issue with being confined in a space. A little bit claustrophobic. Definitely don't like being like held down, tied down, that kind of thing. That would definitely not be my kink. So don't ever tie me down. So yeah, just being like bound and not being able to do anything while being tortured, that'd be absolutely miserable. Like wearing socks to me is awful. I hate wearing socks.
Really?
Yeah, I know, like, I do it, like, when I go out because, like, you don't want to wear shoes without socks. But I'm always uncomfortable while in socks because my toes don't have the freedom that they deserve to have. Mittens,
so do you just
gloves.
In your bedroom naked? Just
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, balls out as often as possible.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, who wants... I don't want my shit, like, contained. My balls and dick aren't as important for that. And I've never been like wearing boxers and been like, my dick can't slither. Like that's never happened to me. But like socks for sure. I'm like, oh, my toes don't have their natural range of movement because of these socks. And I don't care for that. So yeah.
Your perfect hell is socks. Gotcha.
Well, extreme socks.
Extreme socks.
Yeah. Okay, man. If your house had a theme song, what would it be? And I'm gonna need you to sing your house's theme song. So, take a minute, gather your thoughts, and all right, go for it.
It's the fucking Meow Mix theme song. Meow 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 meow. Because that's just all I hear every single day. My girlfriend's cat just screams from the upstairs at any hour of the day for any reason. I think that's it. That's it. Just that.
Okay. All right. Now I have to have a theme song and be something like, you live here, you eat here, this is where you poop and this is where you pee here, gonna sleep here. Every day you're here. Welcome here. It's your home.
Okay.
Something like that.
So I picked an existing song. You wrote one. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the assignment, I guess.
Hey man, the assignment was, what's the theme song? You chose what you chose. I guess that's if I had to pick an existing theme song, though, like, oh fuck, I don't know what are theme songs. What's the last theme song I heard?
I think anything can be a theme song.
I can't even think
be like
of
anime. They just fucking pick a song. Like,
oh, that's true.
Oh, it would be a really dope song, like Mermaider. Mermaider.
Yeah, it'd be like Trogdor.
Trogdor was a man.
Yeah, if I Because it would need to be a song I would want to hear every day when I wake up, right? Or every time I enter the house, because it's the theme song to the house. It's the house's theme song.
It doesn't matter how much you like it, you would hate it after a while. If every time you unlock your door and walk in, and it's just like your favorite song.
Yeah, that.
Taste be to God's blood and bury it. Not again!
Shut up! Shut up! Yeah. Yeah, because if you unlocked your door and it was like, whatever happened to predictability, you'd be like, oh, God.
It's just the theme song for the Cleveland show. My name is Cleveland Brown, and I am... like, what?
My name is Cleveland Brown. Yeah, okay. And Matt, I think we have probably time for one more. So let's kick this off, or let's end this. Not kick it off. We've kicked it. We've kicked it off, and we've kicked it down the road. Let's end this with kind of a pretty big one.
Oh, Lord.
If time machines existed, and now let me read that again. If time machines existed, what would be the first thing you'd do?
If there's multiple time machines and we're all going back into the past and like fucking up the timeline and stuff, are we all fucking up each other's timeline? Like if you go back into the past and change something and you come back, you don't know what somebody else has done. It's just total chaos all the time.
This is such a problemed question. The existence of multiple time machines is an issue that I think we should ignore for this conversation.
It's the standard question. If you could go to any point in history or the future, where would you go?
If you have a list of things you want to accomplish with a time machine, what is it?
If I had a time machine, the first thing I would do is I would go to some random point in the future several hundred years out. I'd see how things are going. And if things seem to be better than my time, I would just stay there. And I'd just stay there. If things don't seem like they're much better and I don't want to stay there, I'd just go get on Wikipedia or something, or figure out the best way to get information, even if that's like, if society has collapsed and there's no technology or anything, then I'd spend some time trying to find some books or something. Any way I can get information about the past. I'd try to find something close to my recent history that would allow me to profit off of it. Like, no, it could be as simple as knowing lottery numbers or knowing how something is that I can bet on is going to play out. Stereotypical answer.
You're biffing it.
And yeah, and then I'm going to go back to my timeline. I'm going to place my bets, and I'm going to make out like a bandit. And then, after I'm done making a bunch of money off of it, I'm just going to spend the rest of the time going back into the past and looking at things that I'm curious about. Because there's lots of things in the past that nobody knows exactly how they happened. Like, I listen to a lot of podcasts about unsolved mysteries and stuff. I think I would almost certainly just spend the rest of my life just going back to various points in time just to observe the happenings of unsolved mysteries. And I wouldn't even do anything with the knowledge. I wouldn't come back and be like, guys, this is what happened. I would just know it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. And that's all the stereotypical answers for time travel wrapped into one.
When you said I would go back in time and look, for some reason my brain was like, he's going to go look at boobies through time. And I was just like, that's a real weird answer, Matt. But that was my brain.
And 1800s boobies probably not much different than a now boobie.
Well, that's why I was a little confused. I was like, that's a weird way to take it. But that was my brain thinking you were going to go there. I don't know why. But now that I've said it, looking at the titties of history could be interesting. I doubt it, but...
Looking at the titties. I could come back and be a scholar on titties through history.
Cleopatra's nipples were brown with a slight shade of pink.
I'd have a bunch of future money, and then I'd just be known as titties through history guy.
Oh, no.
I tell you what I would not do. I would not pick a time in the past to go back to and live in, because I really don't think that there's any time in the past that would have been better to live in.
No, the past sucks.
Than now. No. Because like people romanticize the past and stuff, but what's actually good, what seems actually good about living in any point in the history was not knowing about the future.
Yeah.
And you're going to be burdened with the knowledge of how things are going to turn out, and it's just going to ruin it.
Yeah. Living in the 90s, knowing that everything was going to collapse, that'd be horrible. You'd be like, oh, fuck, how do I prepare for that? Yeah, that would suck ass. If I had a time machine and I decided not to be the guy who goes and stares at titties through history, because it's a real weird thing to choose to do. Just a time traveling pervert. That's a whole other story. The time traveling pervert. You might be able to hear about that in the Dark Quran part 2. But for now, what I would do with a time machine. So, I guess a real stereotypical answer would be like, go back and like kill Hitler. I'm not changing history.
You could just create some worse future.
Yeah. I'm not changing history. That's a fool's gambit. I would definitely like go visit like really influential people throughout history though, and just like kind of watch them do their thing. Like you said, just like how did Einstein like come upon like the equation for relativity? Like what was Freddie Mercury like in the studio? Like just like seeing really cool shit like that would be pretty cool. I guess one of the things that I would change is just traveling back into the past and being like, here's $100 into Bitcoin, and now I'm a multi-billionaire.
Oh yeah, you could do that. You could buy some Bitcoin, and then you could write down like the keys for the wallet, and then just come back to the future. Smart.
Yeah, you would make a lot of money real easily doing that. In terms of going to the future, that seems dangerous, man. Like you're playing with some unknown forces there. The past exists. Does the future exist?
That's true. Yours is more of a sure thing, right? If you buy some Bitcoin and come back to the present, as long as you haven't fucked up the timeline too bad by buying that Bitcoin, you're pretty certain you're going to make money. I could just blink into a future where Earth doesn't even exist and just suffocate in space. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going that extreme, but fuck, yeah. The Earth could just be gone. That's... Yeah, or like you could end up in an Earth that is like fully radioactive because of nuclear fallout.
Yeah, you're right. The future's unknown. That's a big gamble.
It's a big gamble. You could end up someplace pretty fucking cool, though.
You could just teleport to Star Wars, and that'd be pretty sick.
No, Star Wars took place a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Okay, well, a Star Wars-like future.
Okay, so Star Trek.
Sure.
Sure.
You know what could be kind of fun, though, going back into the past and spending some time there? I don't know if you're going to fuck up the timeline or not, but just going back in time and living for a bit in an era that you know a lot about what happens, it would kind of be fun to just spend a while and just be this guy who just inexplicably knows so much shit. You could just make yourself seem like a genius. And that would be kind of fun for a little while, to just mess with people and just be like, just pretend that you're so smart that you can figure out how things are going to turn out. Going
back to the past to mess with people would be pretty fucking funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be pretty funny. It would also be funny if you knew how like basic things worked that people didn't understand. Like just going back into like some sort of prehistoric time and showing people fire and just pretending to be a demon or something.
Yeah.
And just fucking with people.
That would be pretty
You'd probably get killed by some village of
You have fire.
Neanderthals, but
you have fire. You just kill them back. They're not going to be able to take you out.
yeah.
Your modern knowledge of like just how a weapon is built, you could definitely take on like an entire village of Neanderthals. You could just be like, "Here's a rock slide, dicks. I win." Like, come get me on this mountain. I threw a rock. I screamed, "Here's an avalanche. You're dead." Like, that's you could definitely outthink a village of Neanderthals.
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, I think so. I think you
They
could
have numbers.
I think you could rule them real easily or kill them real easily. Like, you're not going to take them all on like 1v1,000 combat, but like traps and stuff, like you understand how like physics works and like levers and pulleys.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to kill a large swath of them with just like a booby trap.
If I was a total psychopath, yeah, you could just go back into the past and just.
I mean, if you were a psychopath of the time machine, you could do some real fucked up shit.
You could do some very fucked up shit. Yeah. Going back in time just to play practical jokes on people through your presence would be hilarious, though. Oh, man, that would be a never-ending source of comedy. Just like
I'd insert myself into like really like important pictures too.
Forrest Gump, basically.
Yeah.
Where he's just like in all the pictures.
Yeah.
Just interrupt important conversations. Like, go back to World War II and just like teleport yourself into like a very intense military meeting and just be like, just scream penis or something. Penis!
Or like go back to like the assassination of JFK and be like out in the street and be like, anybody got a light from a cigarette as he gets assassinated? Like,
go back to some important diplomatic exchange in history where somebody is like bringing someone a gift that is supposed to symbolize peace between two countries or something, and just quietly figure out a way to replace the package with just a wrapped up dildo or something.
oh, the time prankster.
I think I've just changed my answer. Time pranks. Time joker. That's what.
Oh man. That'd be cool. That's just
I almost feel like that's an episode. Time pranks.
The time prankster.
Pranking through time.
With that, I think it's time that we say good night, farewell, so long, and I love your mother. This has been Unplanned Podnancy. I've been Chris.
I've been your mother.
What?
Time pranks, Chris.
I was your mother. I was your father. You are my son. You are my daughter. Time travel's confusing. You won't understand it.
Chris and I are your parents. That was a prank.
It's just a prank, bro. Get over it. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week on Unplanned Podnancy.